The secret to good skin in 3 words.
Sunscreen, retinol, and a good doctor.
Yes.
Beauty gives you confidence. Beauty also makes your voice a little bit heard more clearly.
Absolutely. Undoubtedly.
Just focus solely on those roles and not think about yourself. At the same time, you are you, so look after yourself, love yourself a little bit more, look after yourself a little bit more, and I think that's about it. They're looking after their skin a lot, so they follow good lifestyle habits. Most of them are, regular with their exercise and stuff and all. The detox in the form of the busy and the high end lifestyle, that needs to come in the form of IV drips, because IV drips are very helpful for that. Well, it's a medication, it's not a cosmetic thing at all. It's a medication primarily meant for diabetics.
Hello, everyone, and today I am very excited and super enthusiastic about having Dr. Saman with us. She is a beautiful, incredibly career-oriented dermatologist. She is a medical director, an international speaker, and a trainer, and she is here at the Champs-Élysées Aesthetic Clinic in Dubai. And I have been trying to get hold of Dr. Saman for such a long time, and we have finally, got a date. And now I'm so excited to ask all these questions. How are you, Dr. Saman, today?
Hi Samira, how are you? I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, finally we meet and finally we talk.
Yes, I know, because I just absolutely love what you are in the world and industry of the woman beauty, and that is something so precious to us. So tell us about your journey. How did it all begin?
So basically, I trained as a dermatologist initially, and as I moved to Dubai, as a dermatologist, it's really your passion that you want to work towards things which many people don't consider they are issues, but the person who's going through them, they are really like challenging and shattering for them. So I always wanted to work with somebody, to work on their psyche as well as the external, look. So I just came into aesthetics. It became my second nature actually. And I now try to work with people to enhance their looks, to make sure they look natural, more prettier, and at the same time they feel confident, they look nicer, but more importantly that they feel confident and they feel more and more comfortable in their own skin. So yeah.
Absolutely, because I think it's all about the confidence. It's all about your inner self-worth. And we have only one life. And some people spend so much time stressing inside, And so do you have like a consultation before they get in with your procedures? Like, how do you make them comfortable, and how does the whole process
Well,
go?
that's how I work actually. I work as a holistic approach. I try to work towards their, first I try to talk to them just to understand what kind of personality they have, what kind of lifestyle they have, what would suit them, what would not suit them. And then I give a very conservative, because I don't want to go all out on a person's face. I want to keep things conservative, and of course more can be done later. So I give them a very thoughtful and a very holistic approach. I try to understand what the real issue is. I try to suggest solutions which maybe it's probably that they've come in to get their lips done, and perhaps when I look at them I see that their skin needs more work. So this is how I work. I try to assess them wholly and try to give a plan according to that. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, what made you come towards this aesthetic medical practitioner field?
To be very honest, it just happened by chance, because being a dermatologist, I was getting a lot of concerns and questions about aesthetics as well. because I realized that there is a huge number of women, especially, who want to go to a practitioner, who want to go to a doctor who understands their issue not only as a physical issue but also as a holistic approach. So many of my consults run far longer than a normal consult would, because I take my time to talk to them, to understand what they want, to suggest things to them, to tell them not to do things which they don't need to do.
Exactly.
So really, all this is a part of the process, and because I felt there was a need for a practitioner to be, a bit more holistic when it comes to beauty and aesthetics, I thought, let's venture into this subspecialty of dermatology.
And so you also train other doctors, right?
That's right. That's
And
right. Yeah.
So tell us, what are the common mistakes you find, and the ways that you are doing to make it better and improve this side?
Well, I come from a family of academics. My father used to be, in his younger days, he used to be a professor of engineering. And somehow everybody in my family is into education and academics. And when I went into aesthetics, it was like my desire to pass on what I know to other doctors as well. So thankfully, I got this opportunity through my work. And what I feel that people really want to learn, the new doctors, the upcoming doctors, but they're not willing to, firstly, they fear mistakes, and secondly, they're not willing to spend that much effort and that much energy into learning, into reading. They just want quick fixes, that just quickly do a course, quickly do a session, quickly do a training, and just venture into work. And I feel that's unfair to them as doctors, because they are so much more talented, and I feel that that's unfair to the patients that they're going to see. So because of this, I've tried to, whatever trainings I've done or whatever lecturing I've done, I try to, make a network of people who have benefited from that, and I keep on being in touch with them, keep on guiding them, keep on telling them how to improve, how to work on any mistakes or errors, and so on. So, yeah.
So what is the most surprising myth about anti-aging, that you want to share?
I would call that a misconception, or I would call that a concept which I feel is not rightly placed, and that is aging naturally. So all of us want to age naturally. Of course, we are aging naturally, but if you're getting help from here and there, and if you're getting small treatments,
Yes.
small things done, I believe this is nothing to be shamed about. This is nothing to be looked down upon. And I believe this is something which should be done in a natural proportion and natural limits. Of course, don't go overboard if you don't want to look like that. But don't also think that just because you're aging naturally and not getting any work done, you're doing something very, something that
Heroic,
should be. Exactly,
Yeah.
Exactly. It's okay to take help from things, from science around you on and off.
Yes.
And let's not turn this into a battle of, heroism by shaming or just looking down upon the industry as a whole.
I think we have, as a generation, really grew from this taboo, and we are coming into the acknowledgement and understanding and awareness and the new researches, right?
That's right. That's right.
It
Yeah.
has really we can benefit from these new advancements in technology.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
before, the people didn't know the side effects, and now it's so apparent that this is safe, and what more than to bring beauty on yourself.
Exactly. I mean, beauty is not just something for vanity. Like, many people perceive that it's just because you want to, look beautiful, you must be very full of yourself or things like that. But really, beauty is much more than that. Beauty gives you confidence. Beauty also makes your voice a little bit heard more clearly.
Absolutely, undoubtedly.
So I think let's acknowledge the world that we live in, and let's try to, at the same time, while working towards making this a better world, let's not just give up on ourselves while, navigating life the way that we do. So.
And I also feel, Dr. Saman, that once you go into a treatment and once you are back, you are more careful about your overall holistic well-being. it's kind of like a tap on your shoulder to say, okay, you know what, I mean, organically people get more aware.
Of course, it's
and their lifestyle habits.
yes. I feel it's more motivational.
Yes.
They
Like
feel
going to the gym.
Exactly, they feel nicer about themselves, and then they look after themselves much more. So a person is not, of course, a person is not only a body from outside. You are doing so many roles into your life as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, as a professional, and so on. So it really doesn't mean that you just focus solely on those roles and not think about yourself. At the same time, you are you, so look after yourself, love yourself a little bit more, look after yourself a little bit more, and I think that's about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So, what do you think if someone says that they could only afford one anti-aging treatment, and what they should go for?
Well, in terms of treatment, I would say the one treatment that they should do is looking after the skin. So whether it's microneedling or laser resurfacing, something like that, because a good skin is the foundation to everything beautiful, right? And when it comes to one product that they might think of, only one product for anti-aging, for beauty, for everything, that has to be a good sunscreen. Because a sunscreen is the foundation to everything that to your skin's health. Basically, it prevents aging, it prevents pigmentation, it prevents spots, it prevents lines, and it keeps you looking healthier and younger. So yeah.
So we all must have. Do you have in your purses, even for the men also?
Exactly, for the men also, they age as well. So yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
and
of course.
in this place in Dubai with the heat and everything, absolutely.
Exactly, that's the number one thing. So I have so many patients coming in, and they're just unwilling to follow a good skincare plan at home. And I tell them, why you're even doing this, because if you're whatever work you've had done, and if you're not looking after your skin at home, you might just as well lose that very fast. So yeah, it as I said, everything is holistic. So
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
And these small incremental changes, they will keep helping you look beautiful and better. So also, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of new ways of 20-year-olds getting preventive Botox and tweaks?
I think early 20s is a bit too young.
It's too young.
And
Agreed.
thankfully in Dubai, this trend is a little bit less, or it's at least limited to certain nationalities, not the whole country as a whole. But unfortunately, it's getting up, it's gaining momentum too fast. I feel it's a bit unnecessary, it's a bit overstretched. We can, wait a bit longer to get our Botox and fillers done. But
Yes. Of
it's
course.
a matter of choice also.
And also, I think, that the most important thing is ideally, it's for people who are 30 plus and 40 plus, right?
Not really. I mean, in your late 20s, some people do have a problem with wrinkles, for example. So it's a good idea to start working on them before they become much deeper or
Okay.
much problematic. Other cases, some people do have, they want to prevent aging very fast. So in the late 20s onwards, I do offer Botox and fillers to these people, because they want to prevent sudden aging happening. But on the other hand, there are girls out there, or even men out there, boys and teenagers coming in, who really want to change something about the face from a very early and younger age. So usually those are, it's, as I said, it's catching up this trend in Dubai as well. And for younger men, for example, in their early 20s or mid 20s, they are coming in more and more for jawline enhancement, for chin fillers, and so on. And the ladies are coming in for lips and other fillers in the face as well. So I do tell them all the time, okay, you're young, and actually in a young face, everything would look nice. Even if it's badly done, it would still look nice. That's what my belief is. But what we need to tell them is that, okay, let's do a little bit, but let's not go overboard. Let's not, work on your face with 8 syringes or 6 syringes and so on. Let's stick to a conservative limit, and then, don't repeat your procedures that quickly. So
And to make it look as natural.
as natural and
Yes.
as enhanced as possible. I think almost all celebrities that we see around, all of them have had work done from their 20s onwards.
Yes, I wanted to come to this question about celebrities. What is it that they're doing different?
Well, firstly, they're looking, most of them, they're looking after their skin a lot. So they follow good lifestyle habits. Most of them are, regular with their exercise and stuff and all. The detox in the form of the busy and, the high-end lifestyle, that needs to come in the form of IV drips, because IV drips are very helpful for that, for detoxing the body and getting rid of toxins from the body. So that does give a glow, and it's a very popular celebrity treatment, and now other people are doing that as well. Besides that, celebrities are generally very regular with their skin treatments, with their skin boosters, lasers, peels, and so on. They're not that reluctant to try new things, because they understand the industry a lot better than
And they are
others.
seeing the results.
And they're seeing the results. And of course, almost every celebrity, they have had some enhancements, some fillers.
Can
or
you make me a
something.
celebrity, Dr. Saman, in a short span? Because I'm just feeling so excited. Sorry to cut you, but tell me, keep going on.
Well, it's not good skin or good looks. They don't just happen in a short time, and this is something I would
Yes.
wish people would understand. It's not a one-time fix. Whatever you're planning, even a surgical fix would need months and months of follow-ups, multiple visits, perhaps a revision or repeat surgery on and off. A small correction here and there, because we are dealing with the human body after all. So the more regular you are at a practice, the more regular you are in looking after good habits at home, and regular boosters and regular visits to a clinic, the better your skin would look.
So, have you ever said no to a patient? Have there been times?
A lot of times, actually. I have actually lost quite a few clients because I've simply refused to do some things which they were asking for. Unnecessary, or they came with preconceived idea that this should be done, otherwise the whole point is useless. So what I feel would not help them, I would tell them that no, this is not going to work, because I just don't want to take their money. I want to give some result. So very often I have had these experiences as well, and yeah,
And of
it's a
course,
part of the game.
I think it's so important because we need to trust the doctor, right? We know that they are coming from an experience, and we are limited to that understanding. And also, I think you have that level of trust because you have been with the clinic for so long, and everyone trusts you, and this is so important, especially when it comes to trusting your face, yourself in someone's hands.
Well, yes. At the same time, patients are free to choose, go elsewhere, or do whatever they want. But if you ask for a professional advice, it has to come from a place of sincerity.
Yes.
And it has to be something which is more and more which understands the situation a little bit better than you. So yes, I have had these issues on and off, and I think any good practitioner, good aesthetics doctor, aesthetics practitioner, they should be able to say no to unreasonable requests, or requests which you feel that they're going to look more cosmetically
Right.
problematic than enhancing. So yeah.
Two questions. Are your the products and the ampules and all of that, it is completely from the best standardized source? And second is that, what are the most famous procedures, or which is upcoming trending?
Okay, so yes, of course, since a person's, there are two factors when it comes to working on a patient as a doctor. One is the impact on the patient itself, because how are they going to look, how are they going to feel, how are they going to get on after the procedure. And the second thing is, how is my reputation going to go with that patient's face, because in our line of work it is said that your patient's face is practically your
Doctors.
your CV, basically, your resume, your expertise, your autograph, So both these things matter.
Wow, I loved how you said it.
Both these things matter a lot, and that's why I only work with premium quality products, be it injectables, be it topical treatments or anything, machines. The clinic where I work at, thankfully, it's one of the oldest clinics in Dubai, which has a very rock solid reputation for giving high quality work, and the machines, the whole setup, everything is really very good quality. So that makes me confident in what I'm delivering to the patient, and that also helps in delivering very good results for the patients. Now, your second question, which treatments are more popular? I think one treatment which will never ever not
Fade.
be popular or never ever fade is Botox, because it's so refreshing to have that Botox done. To look more rested, more relaxed. The forehead, the face overall looks really
Fresh.
smoother, calmer, younger. Not only like less wrinkles or lines, but overall, anybody who's had a Botox done, they would tell you that it's a very nice experience living through the a good Botox.
Absolutely.
And other than that, nowadays I'm noticing people are going for more natural looking fillers. So even if they're getting their lips done or cheeks or face or anything done, they want the looks to look very natural. They don't want anybody to know that they've had work done. And thirdly, I think a lot of them are working on the skin. So everybody's understanding that big lips or pretty lips are not enough. You have to have the canvas behind the lips to look, to carry those beautiful lips.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes, everything goes together. And of course, I think it's just becoming more and more accepted. And come on, we're in UAE. And I'm sure you must be coming across many famous people. And, how is that experience like? How is it like? Share something interesting. What do you want to share with the audience?
Well, UAE attracts a lot of famous people from all over the world because of the confidentiality that we offer. So a lot of that cannot be breached, of course. And it's a very unique experience. It's very most of the famous and popular and powerful people that we see in the news or around us, most of them are actually very gentle, very kind, and very humble in reality. And once they start to trust you, they really trust you a lot. And as a doctor, I really value, and I feel humbled myself that I get the opportunity to see some of these very powerful people turn to me for advice. So I really value that, and it's actually a very good experience.
I'm so much impressed, and I'm loving your profession, because you get to look beautiful, you get to be around beautiful people, get to interact and learn and grow. So it's just a dynamic industry, and I think UAE has really developed in this side of the world.
Well, as I said, UAE is attracting a lot of people from all over the world.
For this, yes.
In general, UAE is a beautiful place to live in. It's peaceful, it's serene, it's, the lifestyle is way beyond any other Western or developed country as well. And I'm sure everybody would agree without being offense to, any one place in particular. Of course, we are attracting a lot of foreign clientele as well. People who are coming in as tourists, and they really want to make it a point to come and see aesthetic doctors,
Yes.
me included, myself included. So yeah, it's a very, being in Dubai, we are actually getting a global sort of audience. So I have had patients who've, of course, we get a lot from the neighboring GCC countries for sure. We get lots of relatives of people, my mother is coming in from India, my sister's coming in from Pakistan.
Yes.
Things like that. And at the same time, I have had celebrities from other continents like Africa, like, somebody from Europe coming in. So This is happening all the time in Dubai. Yeah.
So it's also a hub for cosmetic treatments when people are
I
coming.
think yes. I think, and if not the hub yet, I think in the next few years it's going to be
Absolutely.
the in thing in cosmetics world. Yeah.
And all the advancements have been kept up by the UAE. Whatever new,
I think we
innovative-
are way ahead, honestly speaking. We get because we are attracting the knowledge and the info and everything from Southeast Asia, from Korea, from Thailand. Then we're also getting the inputs from Europe, from America, from the Western world. So I think we are an amalgamation of everything that's happening there and there. So we are combining everything together.
Beautiful.
So
Yes.
my experience is that I think we are a bit ahead of most countries when it comes to aesthetic treatments. I mean, we're
Amazing.
able to offer more choices, more machines, more, injectables and so on. And we're not, most doctors in Dubai, we are willing to experiment. We're willing to try out new things on ourselves, on our patients. So I think, yeah,
It is-
we're working quite a bit. Yeah.
Super. That is just phenomenal. Tell me about the Ozempic trend. I mean, this is something that we had a discussion over the phone. Do you think that this is basically like, just share with me your input. Is it a positive thing? Is it a negative thing? Is it like something that you would advise if someone comes to you for a recommendation?
Well, it's a medication, it's not a cosmetic thing at all. It's a medication primarily meant for diabetics. But as the use started, as the medication got popular in use initially for diabetics, people noticed that it was giving good effects in terms of weight. And so this surge started that people started using it for weight loss as well. Now, weight loss is something that is an ongoing process. It's not like you're going to do something today and forget about it for the rest of your life. So you got to keep up with a lifestyle. So Ozempic is helpful when you're struggling with this stubborn weight or stuck with a weight at one point. But you have to keep up with a healthy lifestyle. You have to keep up with your diet, exercise, gym, and so on. And you have to expect that the medicine will come with some side effects.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one should keep not a very long term cycle and should just do it if it's entirely necessary.
It should always be monitored
Yes.
by a doctor's office at least. Some basic tests should be done on and off. Impacts on other parts of the body, not just your weight, that should be assessed as well. And then based on how your body is dealing with it, how you're dealing with it, then you can decide about whether to continue, how long, and so on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Saman, something really interesting I wanted to, and I've been meaning to ask you about Ozempic, this really crazy shortcut trend that people are adhering to very fast. You coming from the doctor's point of view, what do you think?
Well, interesting question because it has become, I think, very, very popular, very common in Dubai especially. Ozempic is actually a drug. And Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, all are medications. They were meant to be medications for diabetics. And only gradually with use, people realize that they are creating a good impact on weight as well. So the thing is that ideally weight loss should be an ongoing journey based on your lifestyle changes, based on a good diet, exercise, and so on. But there are some of us who are stuck with some endocrine issues, some hormonal disturbances, and so on. And for those people, it is actually very challenging to lose that stubborn weight. So yeah, Ozempic comes in helpful for them.
Beneficial in this aspect.
Yes, it is. But it should always be monitored by a doctor. It should not be used on your own, because it can, being a drug, it carries side effects. And it can cause so many things if you're just overdoing it and so on. And yeah, that's about it basically, in a nutshell.
Yes. So this is something very interesting I was asking. In your perspective, is there any celebrity whose transformation you saw and went, wow,
I think everybody's talking about Kris Jenner nowadays, Kim Kardashian's mother. And of course, her transformation has completely blown over the internet all over. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody seems to be obsessed with the way she's turned out. At 69 years old, she looks like practically 35 years old maybe. So that is a very amazing transformation. But I wish people would understand that whatever she has had done, it's wonderful, no doubt about it. But it has taken a lot of, it's a surgical transformation at the end of the day. So she's had gone through a lot of pain, a lot of recovery. Then there must be a lot of money involved in that. And looks like these, when we are wowed, they're generally not a one-time procedure. It has followed like a lifestyle of, looking after themselves, looking after the skin.
For a long time.
For a very long time, yes. And probably not the only surgery she's had also.
Of course.
So, there must be something in the past which has just now been enhanced a bit more. So for a normal person, while we appreciate her transformation a lot, it's important to understand that this is not a one-time result that we're looking at. We're looking at years and years and years of being, looking after themselves.
In the limelight, and them having this as a profession. Even Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
But some people who also holistically combine it, like you said, with their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Naturally, they are more inclined. And I just think that, how do you think these the projection of aesthetic treatments, like, what do you think, how should it be reflected onto normal people, like, seeing all this glamour and beauty, right? Some people go blindly, they're driven. But the normal, like a housewife or person who's working on a daily basis, it is important to adapt to it.
This is very interesting, and I get to hear something like this all the time. It is said that aesthetic treatments are meant for celebrities only, but that's actually not true. There is a lot that can be done by a normal person as well,
Yes.
without going overboard. Whether they choose to go that route, whether they want to go that route, it's entirely their prerogative, entirely their judgment, or entirely their decision. But I would like to say that we don't have to do everything. Mm-hmm. We don't have to do completely go all the way up to surgery and all that. But let's at least start with a good lifestyle. Let's start eating better. Let's start moving ourselves a little bit more, and let's start looking after ourselves from that bathroom shelf itself. Start with a good skincare. And if you feel like it, then build yourself from there. But at least do these 3-4 things in your house, because a good beauty, as I said, it's not only your vanity, it's
Yes.
also your functionality, it's also your confidence, it's also your vitality and health and wellness. So just look after yourself in all these areas.
Absolutely. And I think that, why shouldn't we be a celebrity ourselves, feel like a celebrity, a walking celebrity? It's all about how you live in this world and how you feel confident, how you feel like fulfilled in an interview, in a gathering, or moving with your partner, and just the inside feeling. It can change your entire persona.
Exactly. That's very true, actually. I have worked as a medical doctor before I turned full time into an aesthetic dermatology doctor. As a medical doctor, I would get like a lot of appreciation.
That is double the work and experience, and making you more.
Yes, exactly. And at that point in time, I would get, nice phone calls from people that, thank you for helping and so on. But now that I'm an aesthetic doctor, believe me, I'm much more connected to the patients. I get their messages late at night. Sometimes I'm solving their issues, which are not really, for a normal person, they might feel something which is very superficial, or not very important, but for them it's really an important issue. And I feel I'm much more connected to the patients as an aesthetic doctor. So it's an interesting thing. People take themselves very seriously, and they should, actually. And they're really looking after their health, and they're really looking after themselves, and most of them are not doing it for the men or women in their lives. They're doing it for themselves.
For themselves,
Exactly. So yes,
yes.
I think in each of our own persona, all of us are important to ourselves, and that's how it should be. Self-love is important, and yes, okay, even if we're not celebrities, at least we are important for ourselves, and
Absolutely.
that should matter.
And
Yeah.
that is why we all, and I think I would feel more comfortable having my treatments done from you, having that complete medical background, having that complete, because usually it's like, especially here, you have to be very careful in choosing the right doctor, the practitioner who has the right qualifications, and who hasn't just entered the market 1 year before. And you have to make your valid reasoning, understanding, research, and then go to the qualified practitioner.
That's right. That's right. It's very important. It's not only for the work that you're getting done for, but also how the practitioner is willing to handle it afterwards. So many times, almost everybody will have some temporary or some kind of side effects. So a good and reassuring educational experience with your doctor, that's going to help you a lot at that stage. And secondly, if God forbid things do turn bad, then the practitioner has to be there, your doctor has to be there to support you through the journey. So yeah, this only comes from a place of confidence and sincerity towards
Experience.
patients. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
before we go to the rapid fire, I really love that you also go into the educational side. Like I saw you at, I think in Paris, where you were giving this presentation or speaking on, the aesthetic world. And it is so important that you're bringing this knowledge. How does it make you feel, like, because you're not only just in the clinic doing these beautiful things, but also on the outside giving the awareness.
Yes, that's right. Actually, I take a lot of satisfaction in my role as a trainer, as a teacher. I would call, if not a full-scale teacher, at least a small-scale teacher. And yeah, I like to share experiences with other colleagues when I go to international events and all. And I like to share my findings, my experiences, and my exposure as well with them. So yeah, this has been a very incredible part of being an
Beautiful.
aesthetic doctor. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, of course.
So, Dr. Saman, let's go on to the rapid fire.
Sure.
Yeah. Botox or filler?
Well, Botox for forehead and fillers for face and cheeks and lips.
I love the answer. I love it. Most dramatic before after that you have done?
No, I honestly I haven't done any dramatic before and after. I like to do things naturally, subtly, take things step by step and not work with drama. So
Yes.
you won't get that from me if you're coming to work with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely appreciate this. Yeah. The secret to good skin in 3 words.
Sunscreen, retinol, and a good doctor.
Yes. And we have the best doctor in. I love this one. If you weren't a doctor, you would be.
I would probably be maybe a teacher or something. Yeah.
Yes, in the education world.
Yes, because that's the other aspect which I really like and enjoy a lot.
And your go-to treatment before you go to any big event.
For people who are having any big event, I would recommend that they go for at least microneedling and skin booster, because it really gives a nice plump and glowy effect to the skin. It gives a lifted look to the face, not very like crazy lifted, but a naturally lifted look, and you really stand out.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
Also, what is the truth that you wish everyone would know about beauty?
That beauty is within yourself. You have to feel good about yourself, and you have to be confident in who you are and what you have on your face and on your body and overall, because there's always going to be somebody better than you, always.
Right.
You are never ever going to be at the top. Even if you're at the top, you might find somebody else jumps up, and the next morning that person has taken that top. So you have to draw that line of contentment, the line of satisfaction, and the line of being self-sufficient.
Absolutely. So well said. I so agree with this one. So, last question is, where can people find you and, and your work?
Well, I work at Champs-Élysées Medical Center. I am the medical director there. So, of course, you are welcome to come and meet me there.
This is
Where-
on the Jumeirah.
in Jumeirah,
Yeah.
at Al Manara Road. So you're always going to find me there 5 days a week. That's number one point of contact. Secondly, I'm active on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. So all these channels are there.
Yes.
So yes, I'm available for these channels as well. I'm also on Facebook. I have my own skincare community on Facebook.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
And
I
that
mean,
is-
I like to connect with people. I like to share what I know with as many people as I possibly can. And social media allows us to do that nowadays. I haven't really started. I've never ever actually earned anything from any of my social media, so I don't really keep it as a means of earning. But I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy the ability to reach out to people and to create.
It's such noble work that
knowledge.
you are sharing all this information, because it is very difficult to get it from the right, authentic, doctor.
Yes, actually, it's sad that so many people out there are misinforming people. Some doctors are just not doing their job properly and, doing wrong kinds of stuff. So it's important to have some
Yes.
presence on social media to guide people more than anything else. Yeah.
So you would know where to find. I will be having all the links up here in the interview and in our podcast. And Dr. Saman, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. A wild roller coaster full of these beautiful information, of valuable knowledge, and all about beauty. This is what we all live for, beauty.
Well, I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I hope, whatever I have talked about, I hope it adds some value to the life of people who are going to listen to this. So,
Absolutely, and we keep this process on. Please send in all your messages to Dr. Saman and to this podcast as soon as it's going to be aired, and we will be in touch. And I look forward to having another episode.
My pleasure.
Yes,
of course.
so feel free to send in your questions, and we can have Dr. Saman with us. And thank you again, and see you next time.
Thank you.